Okay, I think we're live. Hi, you guys. It's Oda, Dr. Vicky. Welcome to Mystic Sisters mid-June, midsummer. Oh my God, week. That would be a good question, like oh my God questions or
OMG.
WTF questions is kind of in the same thing. So I want to say hi to everybody. If you watch the video, I did go to the protest in Edgewater. It was the senior protest. I'm like, I feel much safer there than Daly Plaza.
Yeah.
Right. So it was just really amazing. It was really amazing. I have to say the crowd was awesome. They weren't all seniors. I just did the whole like Reiki thing. Like, this is what I have to give. You're like, behave yourself. Everybody's like, watch it, be safe, be careful. So I didn't even carry a sign. I just wrote it on my hands and did that, and I got a really healthy response. A lot of people taking pictures, and that was my takeaway. Was this get together was to heal.
Yes.
It was a very healing experience. I cried.
Yep.
And I don't cry like there was nothing to cry about. People were all on the same page, but it was very ceremonial.
Yeah.
And I cried.
Well, yeah, I've always felt like these protests was an opportunity for us to realize that we're not alone.
So nice. It was so cool. So cool.
And I watched, I went onto Facebook, which I don't because I actually got in a bit of a tiff on Facebook the other day. Not that I meant to, but you know how you put something up and you know a certain person's going to say something.
The moon was in Sag. What'd you say? You're like, blah.
It was about Israel bombing Iran, and
Yeah.
Israel definitely has the right to defend themselves, but I don't think Netanyahu is the right person to be in
Right.
charge of that country. And I said something about got to get rid of this guy and his goons. And of
Yeah.
course, I have a lot of schoolmates that were Jewish and that are my age, and they get indoctrinated, or they got indoctrinated through the different schools and stuff.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary on that, and how the kids now are seeing it differently because they're actually seeing what's going on with the Palestinians. And they were the history that this is what they said on the thing. The history that they were given was not the history, it was the history that they wanted them to know, which of course that happens all over the place, right? It's not just in Israel. But
Yeah.
um, uh, I was told that I was an idiot or something like that, and which was funny because the person who told me I was an idiot was one of the dumbest people in my class.
Yeah. Somebody that you didn't want to like even have their respect or like partner up with and like team up and brainstormed anything in school is right that
Yeah,
kind
no, there would have been no brainstorming with this.
of it tells me there's a heightened sense of awareness, and the burst reaction is anger, right? So that means it just made the clock tick there, which is
Well, my feeling, I don't I don't comment on what other people put up, especially when I know they're true believers, in their point of view. But I have these couple of, and they're men, and they're both bullies. And I went to school with them. They were bullies in
Yep.
school, and I just I just keep the lines of communication open. And I said, look, he said, I don't know what I'm talking about and I don't know anything and all that stuff. And I was like, look, I'm sure there's a lot of things that you could teach me and I could teach you. I
Yeah.
said, but this is my page and you are being brutish. I said, this is America still, right?
That's right. I want to say hi to everybody. Well, before I get like way too deep into the thing here, Alexandra, Teresa, Skybird, Mary, you should have come to me with Edgewater. It was so cool. Diva, Zendal, Paula, thank you, you guys. Thank you for showing up and telling us what's going on. Everybody seems to have had a pretty positive experience with today's protest, but they're bringing up the stories of the things that were really painful, like what happened in Minnesota.
Yeah, I was just seeing that.
I found out when I was just loading when I got home and strung all the videos together, like I haven't even gotten a chance to react to that. True.
Yeah, Extreme Brands lives in Minnesota. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. And then I haven't gotten any parade info because apparently it doesn't even start till later. So nothing like that came up on my feed. I was like, good. Well, if they get it then. They don't
I have a special thing to do. Hold on. All right, now I gotta find it again. Okay, hold on. See if I can get this.
The Minnesota killer was probably just some extremist,
Just sit and putter. Life's candy and the stars are all about. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade.
Yeah.
I heard they're gonna get like 3 to 6 inches of rain.
I think that's just karmic justice right there. If anybody has any question about that, then, watch it. Then we'll see what happens. But, the parade, Alexander says the parade started early because of the rain. Well, probably they would. I'm sure they would move it around since nobody's going to show up anyway. What difference does it make? Honestly. So I had a very, very positive experience there in Edgewater. It was the senior one, but I felt the safest for me. And we just did like Reiki, like good old fashioned street Reiki kind of thing, and got a really, really positive response. So I hope that if somebody, like, you've got a takeaway, if one of today's takeaways was this was very ceremonial and very healing. If you could watch it and get that vibe, I mean, that's what it was like. If you're looking for the dark stuff, I'm sure you can find it.
Yeah, Paula. Yeah, everyone has their own opinion. Yeah, I know.
Tabby Cat said she just came back from a protest in Colorado. It was fun and peaceful. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw somebody from it was Celtic. Oh boy, goodness gracious. Sheila from Celtic Tarot.
Yeah.
She's in Colorado Springs, and she had a video on YouTube, and I'm looking, and everybody's wearing shorts. And I'm like, got 3 layers on because it's freaking freezing here.
Yeah, it was chilly. It was chilly until about 2:00 when all this was supposed to end, and hazy. And that's okay. It wasn't too hot. So once the sun came out, it was much warmer. But it was just a perfect day for that. And honestly, I think people were really overly nice to each other. Like, this area would stand in the street with all these people would not have been so kind and so nice to each other on any other day than to get together for this one thing that they really believe in.
Well, it's one thing that'll get people, and that's the enemy. What is that? Public enemy number 1.
Yep. I think that's how that went down. Yeah. And the full moon day, if anybody's got any full moon stories. That was, what day was that? Wednesday? It was like 95 degrees here.
Yeah, it was in the 80s. Like,
so I'm good with this little chill. Yeah. I'm good with it. Yeah. It was really hot. I went to the farmer's market. It was stupid of me to think that I could, just wear my pants and like gym shoes and run over there. It was so hot. I had to lean up against a tree on the way home. I mean, I just was like congealed at that point. And I talked to the tree. I'm like, it was like full moon. I'm like, I need your help because I don't know if I'm going to make it.
In Boston, we had the Pride Parade and the No Kings rally at the same time.
Oh my gosh. So I made it home, but I'll definitely sap the energy out of that tree. But honest to God, it was brutal.
There was 70 people on this guy's hit list. The person who was the shooter, his first name is Vance, born in 1967.
Okay. So he's 58. He's a seer.
He's 57. I think
Sorry, Gen Xer.
He's July 23rd, 1967, which is interesting because 67 and 68 were some of the most violent years for political violence, right? And I guess it came around.
Yeah.
I did look at his chart. He has a South Node in Scorpio with Mars.
Oh, you? Who?
South Node. Of course, I looked.
Whose chart?
The shooter.
Oh.
The guy who shot the.
Okay.
4 people.
So he's a Gen Xer, right?
He's a Pluto and Virgo. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, obviously he was a sick man. I mean, I've not even gotten the chance to like get into the story, but I don't know. I don't know how to react, honestly, because there was a very emotional day, and this is like a whole different.
It was kind of like a roller coaster.
Processed yet, so yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to be able to answer any of those questions if you want to know a WTF, honestly, because I've.
Well, the hardest thing was that the governor got on, Governor Walz.
Yeah,
he could barely hold it together when he was telling the story. It was really sad. That's how I started my day, crying.
Yeah.
Then I watched some of the parade stuff, and then I laughed because people had great signs.
Yeah.
Great outfits, and.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's going to be a lot more out on this. I'm sure we'll give it the chart, and I'm sure it's really related to this whole backstory of the full moon, Algol, Uranus, the square with Mars. Like this is where people, I think, we're feeling that tension, right? We're like, I'm just waiting for sort of the ball to drop. I've got like sort of tentative plans all day tomorrow because I'm not sure what direction I'm going to be able to go in, sort of thing. Antoinette's granddaughter wants to know, when does Algol leave, if ever? It doesn't. This is just an active cycle, and it's every year.
Yeah, it's a fixed star. It doesn't. I think it moves a little bit every 72 years.
Yeah.
So it's there. It's in Taurus.
And to help you, remind you, I guess it is when you like deadhead your plants. So it's just the highlight of the Algol cycle is around now. So it's okay. If you know that, then you remind yourself, and then, Well,
Algol is not always bad news for women, but it's usually bad news for men.
Yeah.
They say Medusa was the original blame it on the victim goddess. She was turned into a beast because she was raped.
Wow.
And supposedly Athena, she was the goddess of Athena, was so upset that she turned her into a monster, her and her sisters.
Wow.
The Gorgons, yeah. But that just sounds like a man's story to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the revisionist side is on a man's story. Giblets, what do you need, buddy? I'm going to definitely get him his little toy thing because he's staring me down. But, pull a card. Pull a Mystic Sister.
Let me pull a Mystic Sister card.
Well, I fill his little thing, and it's just been this crazy kind of week, and everything is all over the place, and all the plants are blooming.
The roses have been crazy. I mean, I've had rose plants that I haven't seen in a few years that are
Yeah.
blooming this year. I'm looking for my Mystic Sisters cards now. What did I do with them? Oh, I found my antibiotics. Oh, so I got a bug bite with a
Oh
giant
no.
rash. Yep. And I went to the doctor's, and she's like, "Oh, looks like it might be Lyme again." I was like, "Ah, Jesus." So now
Oh,
I'm on antibiotics again.
oh my gosh.
Oh, there they are.
Holy Terrell, let me get Giblets this thing. And we can
I actually like tidied up a little bit, so now I can't find the freaking thing. All right, let's do a
yeah,
Mystic.
I've been trying to get rid of stuff to make room for more stuff. In the summer, well, the plants get bigger and sometimes you get new ones and
Sometimes you can't help yourself but get new ones. Is that what you just said?
yes. I got another couple plants at the farmer's market this Wednesday, so barely got them home. They were healthier when they got home than I was. I can't with these dogs.
Was it a long walk?
It's
Oh, it was like
not a long walk. It's 1 mile that way, 1 mile back.
But it was hot, right? Wasn't it super hot?
It was so it was so hot. It was so painfully hot that like I paid $9 for something to drink. Like what? Just like a cold pressed juice, right? I'm using the jar just to like hydrate myself so I can think about getting home. It was wicked. And I just can't thermoregulate like that anymore. And today was like 57.
Yeah, I know. I was cold all day. Okay. This good news is maybe, I don't know. So this is one I picked. It's called Mania.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry guys. It's the one that came out.
That's
Okay.
how I feel.
Yeah. She even you even have the same color hair as her. Look at that.
That's how it's working. Mm-hmm. That's how the thing energy's moving today.
Yeah, look at that. Oh. Very sexy, Ona. Okay.
Used to be.
Anxiety, nervous imaginings. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Says the Roman goddess Mania is the mother of spirits of the night who ruled the undead in the underworld. Her name means to think vigorously, though this does not refer to simply interesting thoughts or innovative ideas. She is the goddess of madness. Mania would send her spirits to earth to inflict insanity and cause people to think in a state of frenzied delusion. Drawing this card is a warning to cease your obsessive thinking. Sometimes we get caught up in the loop of worries, fear, and anger, but not all of our thoughts are based in reality. Do not believe everything your own mind is telling you. It is imperative now to meditate. Sanity needs to be restored. You may have reached the point where you must allow yourself plenty of space and direct yourself to be quiet, still, and calm. I think that's a perfect message, honestly.
I got you.
Mania. Don't rain on my parade. All right.
Okay. Yeah. I had a moment for sure. I literally, you know what? I'll show you what I did with my tangerine water here. The lavender that's blooming in the corner, I put it in my water because the sap is just stuck. There's no bees or no butterflies, and it's just oozing. So I just dip it in my water, my tea, anything pretty much. Because I feel it. There was that, that kind of moment. For sure. So I didn't do this when I got home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So definitely have a. Mary said there have been protests all week in downtown. 2 nights my bus was stuck in traffic, and I was grateful to the protesters. I just noticed when I got home that there was a bunch of people like on Broadway and Briar, like walkable. I didn't have to go. I didn't have to go to the senior center and Edgewater. This is going to be sort of this rotating thing, I think. There were a lot of buses that passed in the street, and a lot of the bus drivers were very supportive. I think when big box companies like US Foods passed, Amazon Prime, when those truck drivers were beeping in support of the protesters, it was raucous. It was raucous. People were really like, thank you in that moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Well, there were a lot of people. I think there were 200,000 in Philly, 200,000 in New York. Um, it was big, and all over the place. I mean, a friend of mine put a video up of the reddest place in Florida, like the reddest town in Florida, and they were all out on the side of the road. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's yeah, I don't yeah, I really do think, they say it's not red or blue, it's right or wrong. And I
Right. And I think a lot of the joy of this is trying to get pulled away by people that have pulled into that super dark, scary space and have done this horrible thing in Minnesota. Like I still feel like you're not going to break me. You can't break me with that story today. You can't break it. There's no way. It's really powerful.
I think what's interesting about, I mean, it's a terrible tragedy. And
Look at what Sandra says. Hello, Ona and Dr. Vicky. I'm late, so I've started your live from the beginning. Loved everyone. Protests here in Canada too, and in Europe and South Africa. Blessings, light workers. I did that today, Sandra. I did that today, and I'm still floating on that cloud for sure. I did the like no king street reiki thing. Yeah, it was intense. And I think a lot of these stories, the LA thing, the inflation of it, was to sort of test you to see if you were going to be afraid to do this today, if you were going to be afraid to defy orders, if you were going to be afraid to go and protest and go out on the street. And the opposite happened. We were even tighter and closer. Hi, Cindy. That was what I was wondering. Cheryl lives in Minnesota. She said 80,000 plus showed up in St. Paul after being told not to gather.
right.
So those are the things I would like concern me, because if you were told to sort of stay home, but you have an even bigger reason now.
Yeah, I think that they were like, they weren't going to not go. They weren't afraid.
Yeah, they are definitely going to go. So I stopped at the bakery there on Sheridan to pick up my treat for doing what I did today. And I bought 2 elephant ears.
And you gobbled them up because they had no donkey tails, right?
I ate one on the way home. But I bought 2 elephant ears, and I thought about the symbolism of it and all that. I had them in the bag. And this lady who has the bakery, she saw my hand and she looked, and I said, "Oh, I was at the protest." And she said, "Thank you." I said, "No, thank you." We kind of went back and forth, and I ate that elephant ear, and like I feel like I did my best to sort of feel powerful in this powerless thing that's going on here.
But it to me, it seems like this is an empowered, the person who seems most disempowered right now to me is the president.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his big parade day, right?
Yes.
Everybody's giving him crap about that. It's going to rain. And some nut took his thunder away. It's like every time he tries to do something big, something else happens and takes away his glory.
Well, that's a really interesting twist on that. So maybe the timing was to sort of divert your attention from that disaster.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, is World War III starting? I mean, honestly, like
I don't know. Like that's when then these are the things you have to sit back and really think about the how that one thing can trigger into another. And I don't think we're anywhere near that, but I do think they're trying to scare you into thinking that it could happen that quickly and that you would have no say. I think there's so much of this that I have to be really, vigilant about and say, no, they are trying to psych me out. Right? He's proven to be a chicken taco, right? And now you're like, we're teasing this idea around and we're starting to let it float. Mm-mm.
Do you think he's upset because it's named after like a Mexican sandwich?
I'm sure that definitely has a note to it that is making it unpleasant. I know it was. It hurt his poor little fragile self. For sure.
The death list sounds like Pluto Virgo. He has the shooter has a south node in Scorpio with the Mars right on the south node in Scorpio. So that sometimes that can be somebody very vengeful.
Yeah.
A lot of revenge in that chart.
I want somebody to come up with a WTF question because I got cards. I brought my cards with me, actually, to the rally that I had.
Oh, something else that happened that is actually kind of a big chuckle is that Trump went to the Kennedy Center with Melania, right? We saw Melania. She was at the thing. And it was to see the play Les Miserables, which is, of course, about the French Revolution and the elite losing their heads. He got booed. And then this contingent of drag queens came in. And they, everybody's like cheering them on. And they say Trump blew a fuse because of the drag queens.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we can keep. When it's going to be
right on my
series, right? It's going to be a series of that too. There's no way that he's going to be able to dodge some of the things he's been so hypocritical of, and that's why just calling him out on the street was awesome. Innocent Potato said, I grew up in the Pittsburgh area. I was so happy to see massive crowds who turned up today in Philadelphia, birthplace of Declaration of Independence. Yeah, that's like every place has its own like really amazing energy. Honestly.
Paula says you have to go back further to get the feminist version of the Greek myths. Yeah. There was a book I read many years ago called Kiss Sleeping Beauty Goodbye. It was about the myths, the fairy tales that we tell the young girls.
Yeah.
And sort of the truth behind them.
Yes. They're horrible tales.
They're very violent. I don't know. Like the Princess and the Frog. In the version, in the original version, she throws him against the wall.
Yeah.
It really kills him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of makes sense, Yeah, I haven't seen anything. What would be a good WTF question to be like so tangential to snap out of the horror stories of this week? Padilla. I mean, a lot of theater happened, right?
Well, the scariest thing about the Padilla thing, which I'm not easily shocked, but that really shocked me. I'm like a senator, like they had to put him on the floor, like and what was it? Oh, now I forgot what shocked me the most. Oh, is what Noam was saying when he asked the question. She was saying that they were there, they weren't going anywhere, and they were there so that they could free the Angelinos from the Democrats who are messing up their whole like government, like that ICE is there to protect them from their own mayor and governor.
Oh, well, she's,
I know, but that's yeah, she is,
so,
you're right, but that's the line, right? That's the line. She's a representative and
I mean,
it's
she
almost like they're trying
really,
to take over the city.
yeah, but I don't think they were. I think they were just trying to test how far they could go. That's sort of like the test site, right? Teasing the idea, making you afraid because you knew these events were going to happen on Saturday, and he wanted everybody to stay home and watch his parade, and nobody did. So I think that was all planned to get people distracted and afraid that might happen here too. There were more people that said be safe than go, like get your back, like kind of thing.
So I did pick 3 cards on the actual no Kings rally.
Yeah, tell me. These are my Basquiat cards. I have them out. Jean-Michel Basquiat. They're just playing cards, but same idea.
Okay. I got the 3 of Pentacles. So this is working together.
Yeah.
A lot of cooperation and organization. The Ace of Swords. The Truth. And the Magician.
Ooh.
So this as terrible as what happened in Minnesota is, as terrible as what's going on in Israel and Iran. This was like a bomb, like BALM, not BOMB.
Yeah.
It was a healing bomb. It was showing us that if we organize, we have the power to bring the truth forward.
Okay. All right. I got 3. I'll do 3 cards on this thing. One just fell out, so I'm going to stop right there. The 7 of clubs would be like the 7 of wands, right? The defense. You see the little hatchets? The little hatchet there. Okay. I don't know what this is. The 5 of diamonds, or the 5 of coins, or the being sort of left out
in the cold.
Yeah. Defending those for the house. The 4 of wands. Defending people who cannot.
4 of swords, honey. Spades.
Oh, it is 4 of spades. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. It's 4 of spades. So there'll be 4 of swords. Thesis, it says on there. Thesis. Real famous. So 4 of swords. So
you want to pick 3 cards on the military parade?
Yeah, I could do that with this. I could have another deck. So kind of like letting it rest.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Letting it rest. Where did I put my, I might have those in another thing. So we're doing the
The military parade.
Oh, that's right. Let's do this deck. Did we do this? I think the last time we pulled cards on this, I'm like, are they still having that thing? And here they're having that thing. Apparently right now. So we'll see. How many gonna pull?
Well, I picked 3, but I'm picking 2 more just because I'm curious.
Okay. This time.
I guess there's 2 celebrations. There's one line that's going in to celebrate the Army's 250th birthday, and then there's another line that goes to celebrate Trump's birthday.
Oh, okay. What is your first card?
Judgment, Aeon.
I got 4 of cups.
So this is judgment. He's going to be judged for this.
And he's disappointed.
Huh?
He looks disappointed.
Yeah, of course he's disappointed. Yeah.
He might be trying to pull that emotional card for his judgments. Like he's going to try and say, oh, poor me, when they start attacking him for what he did today. For this parade. This is about the parade.
I just feel like he's not going to get very much satisfaction out of this.
No.
Next card.
I got the King of Swords.
And I got the Devil.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Same thing. King of Swords in air sign. So Aquarius, Gemini, right? Our Gemini person there. Libra.
And he is the devil.
And he is the devil. What'd you get next?
I got the Prince of Discs, which is the King of Discs, but I got him reversed. I don't usually read reversals, but I got
5 of Wands.
I think that's this is the economy.
Okay.
To me, and causing, in your case, a lot of
causing chaos. Okay. I'm gonna just grab it because I can't even stand it. Okay, come on, buddy. Okay, what'd you get next?
I got the Knight of Discs.
I got 3 of Cups.
Okay, so this is a little bit more stabilizing.
Yeah. It looks like they're maybe trying to distract him with other statistics, like trying to, it looks bad, but they're trying to spin it a little bit.
Yep. And then I got the 4 of Cups, which is luxury in this deck.
The Magician.
Ooh. I feel like it's not going to be what it was its intention. Like, yeah. It's not good, but that the people around him are just going to blow sunshine up his butt. And he'll think it was great, even though it's a complete disaster for him.
That was your last card, the 4 of Cups?
Yeah.
That was my first card.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly disappointing for whoever thought it was going to be a super fun day. Like, really pissed off you dragged your family and kids there. Sorry, Stephen Miller. Right?
Hey, did his wife really run off with Elon, or is
I don't know. I don't know. I know that story.
I haven't looked. I don't know. I
know that story kind of fell to the wayside. I don't know.
No matter how terrible a story is, it falls to the wayside because there's always something else awful and disastrous. Oh God. Ooh. So I got Gain, which is the 9 of Pentacles.
Uh-huh.
Then I got Cruelty.
Oh, this is Stephen Miller. This is, what's her name?
This is his
Katie,
wife. I don't know.
Katie Miller's
Katie Miller. Yeah.
running off with Elon.
Did she run off with Elon? And then I got the four of Pentacles, the power.
She probably had to run away. Look at her.
Well, I don't know. She probably was more interested in money than cruelty, than fame, maybe.
Yeah.
He is one cruel SOB, man, that guy. Ugh, yuck.
Yeah, Gilbert is just starting to kind of be bratty, and he can't really eat anymore today. He's had enough, and he had an episode yesterday where he threw up before I left, and still drying carpeting over there. So I'm not gonna just try to make him stop crying. I'll put him on my lap for a minute, but look how squirrely he gets. He wants to hang on my leg like a limb on a tree.
Like he's
I have a clock.
Was that Mufasa? Who was that? The lion from the Lion King, the father, was his name Mufasa?
That's what yeah. He loves it. And I could set him up with his own chair. So I could do that.
He's probably part cat.
Well, he did grow up with Pearl. He grew up with Pearl Cat. So, he's got some idea of what it's like to be taller.
Taller and fluffy.
He always wanted to be tall. And I did a past life reading on him, and he was like a tall flightless bird in a past life. So, makes sense. That's why I knew it would be perfect for him to be up here. He loves it here. There's nothing there, buddy.
Oh, maybe there is something there.
Bug.
Maybe somebody's in the hallway.
Can't. I would have heard. There's nobody. That's really bizarre. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. We'll find out. That is very, very strange. He does that sometimes. I know when there's like a shadow thing that's going on, but that's how bizarre it is. There's nothing, there's something he senses, but nothing I can focus on right now.
Right.
Yeah, he was growling. Maybe something just weird happened. I don't know.
Aspie Third Eye was in Memphis, and she said it was the No Kings was big in Memphis.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. I think Memphis is pretty progressive in terms of Tennessee. And
right. Well, usually the large cities tend to be more progressive.
Yeah.
Because we kind of have to get along with each other more when you're in a city. Like you can't just isolate yourself in the.
You absolutely throw that judgment card away. If you were judgy, you would not last. City. It just would not go over really well. It has definitely been that kind of fiery week. Next week it's going to be even more fiery. And I do feel like that Mania card, right, coming up again. How do you feel now? Like it just like popped up in my head. Like, think about that. It's been that kind of week, and I think it's going to be even more.
Well, we have some really big things. I mean, a lot of times when things are about to happen in astrology, there's more energy right before it happens.
Yeah.
And we have Pluto and Saturn squaring, and this is the third time they've done it.
Yeah.
But it's the first time they're doing it in cardinal signs because they did it in mutable signs previous.
Right.
And cardinal is about initiating something new.
Yeah.
And we have Jupiter in Cancer now, and it's actually very close to the Jupiter of the United States. So we're about to have a Jupiter return this summer. And
that is what it really truly feels like.
Yeah, and that to me that feels
It's the
like,
biggest shift right there.
yeah, I feel like it's an expansion of the feminine
Yeah.
and our compassion for
Mhm.
each other. I mean, people are protesting in LA because of what they're doing to families in LA. They're
Yeah.
not protesting just to be a pain in the ass. They're actually out there because their family they're protesting what ICE is doing.
Yeah.
It was separate from the King thing, but then the King thing came up. So it'll be interesting
Yeah.
to see what
There
they're going to call the next one.
it was interesting. There was everybody was it was truly like a no king thing. There wasn't a lot of there were some people that had some kind of, religious stuff on, but it was really focused on that one thing. I gotta say, they did a really good job. We'll see what downtown is like. I don't know if they've wrapped things up now and stuff. I do know that there was that one YouTuber that is it Adam Mockler or Mockley?
Markle, yeah.
He was downtown, so I'm sure the coverage would be even better because he's got more of a professional thing going on, and he's no filtering kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think they said there were 200,000 in Philly. Again, huge crowds in New York City, um, LA, and then everywhere else, Connecticut. I mean, it was everywhere. There were like we had one in Wareham, we had one in the next town, and the next town, and the next town. They were all out. They were all out.
The next one would be around the 4th of July. I think it was Zendal just says we need a big protest on the 4th of July. Do you want to pull like a 4th of July kind of card? Because that would be like the next sort of.
Okay, let's pick 4th of July. 4th of July is big, 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 big on the 4th of July.
Uranus has already moved into Gemini by the 4th?
No,
Okay.
no, but we have on the 4th of July, we have Venus conjunct Uranus at the last degree of Taurus. Pretty close to Algol, in case anybody's paying attention to that. Don't rain on my parade. Can't get that out of my head now. Wish I had a better voice for it. It's not in my range. Bum, 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 bum.
Okay. Well, we've got a central character here in this little spread that just flipped around. We got the King of Pentacles.
No, that's what I pulled out.
Stop it. See? Yeah. So this would be 4th of July time. And I'm still shuffling. That's just one that I did one of those things. So also the 9 of Pentacles was just ahead of it.
Oh.
So I just let 2 of them fly. 4th of July.
Oh.
Ooh. I got the Tower.
So did I.
Yeah.
Second one, Tower.
Yeah. Uranus is doing what around? You just mentioned Uranus.
Conjunct Pluto. No,
Okay.
no, not that. Conjunct Venus.
Uranus.
So Uranus conjunct Venus with Venus. We're going to need some Venus. Venus at 30 degrees. Then Venus moves into Gemini, and then Neptune goes retrograde.
Okay.
And then on the 7th, 7/7, Uranus goes into Gemini.
Okay. So we both got the Tower, which could be, a quick, but we know what the Tower card means. It's also got a Uranus stamp on it.
Yep.
Right?
And it is Trump's soul.
6 of Cups. That is a 4th of July card. If I ever had a 4th of July card, I had to pick from the deck.
I got the Queen of Pentacles.
That card's beautiful.
I know, isn't
it? Yeah. Queen of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. So we'll see. And then I get the Moon.
the Five of Pentacles called worry.
Okay.
So that worry, the moon, yeah, that's pretty much about right.
These could be related in this shock and awe sort of way, where you sort of disengage yourself mentally because of some kind of shock. Okay.
I have
What?
one.
I'm just gonna do one more. You do one more. What is yours? That's it. I'm just
The High Priestess.
okay.
Something is uncovered.
And I got King of Wands. So that could be just if there's, we're writing that king theme going there. He is wearing a fucking crown on this card. So there could be that secret of the king, or it could be that the cards are just saying, just hang in there, because we haven't figured this out yet, because the stars are spinning right now too, going, what the hell?
Well, sometimes the king of swords, I mean the king of I'm sorry.
Wands.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The King of Wands sometimes feels to me like Vance. So I'm wondering if something's going to happen.
Okay, just one more card then. I haven't moved the cards or nothing, just one more. The Chariots.
So quickly.
Very fast, you guys. These are big time major arcanas that are very clear in their context, right? And the Seven of Pentacles. Somebody's reaping rewards from whatever event is happening on the
4th of July. And then the 4th of July in 2026, I just happened to see it.
Yeah.
Is the next time that Mars and Uranus conjoin in Gemini.
Okay. Gases. Okay.
So I think things are going to change real fast. That's what I think.
Yeah, they are.
I think it's time itself just seems to be like all over the place. It's like it seemed like I don't know. It's just like I feel like I'm jumping timelines all the time.
It does feel like that. I think that's why I absolutely glitched, because the whole, like, everything that's bad is and everything that's good are so different that it's hard for me to like jump like that. Let me grab the dog again, because you believe we went for the longest walks. I gave him like a calming chew and all that stuff. And he's just looking at me right now. So maybe, but he's got that.
I wouldn't doubt if it's not in part the moon, because that Sag moon is pretty powerful. I don't think I slept.
Come on. And that was like the beginning of the wand week, right? In numerology too, was this full moon, but we were into the page by that time. I'm just looking at that kind of thing because I think, I think it matters. And
Deo said they had perfect weather in Vermont at the No Kings events, but sadly, the head of the migrant justice in Vermont was arrested at the border.
Wow.
Justice. That's the northern border, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Miss Annie said she was in Iowa and she was surprised at how many people turned out. Proof of life for the wife.
Yeah. Do you hear like is there like a background noise? No, that sounds okay.
I think I hear the road, but it's just like a whoosh.
No, it was like it was like in double time.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. I had a really positive experience, and it's hard for me to not feel like that for this particular moment. And I grab onto them as long as I possibly can. For sure.
I do think the coming together of everybody brought in a lot of light.
Yeah. I heard a lot of people say, wow, well, there are more people here than I thought there would be, but in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way, not in a bad way. I don't know.
Does anybody know if it's raining on his parade?
He's real sketchy tonight for some reason. Giblets is.
Yeah, he's not usually. I mean, he can be active, but he doesn't get like this generally.
He usually doesn't. He's okay, but he's very anxious, and he's had 2 very long walks, and all his food there. He should be asleep. It's cool out. He's just really sketchy tonight. And that's kind of weird. So I always tap into those energies. Like, I'm just trying to say, don't like burst my pink bubble, for God's sake. 10 minutes. Oh my goodness. It was Mary says the parade is a dud from what she's seeing. Thank you, Mary. I think that not only would he be disappointed, but we would be disappointed because it's not disappointing enough.
Madge says there's no rain in DC. Oh, well.
Right, because they can control the weather.
I got that silly song in my head for nothing now.
No, I think we're looking for something a little more grandiose than is actually going to happen. I think all in all, that 4 of Cups energy is disappointing.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think there were a couple of things that took the air out of that bubble. I think it was the Kings thing. I think it was Israel attacking Iran.
Yeah, it makes it really
according to Rubio, he didn't know anything about it. And then Trump's like, oh, yeah, we knew. He goes, well, it seems like it's working.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that nobody knows what the hell they're doing.
No.
So everything is, you know, everything can just happen. And who can we look to? Pam Bondi?
No. Yeah.
Cash Patel and Bongino?
And then we have to, or we're training ourselves to discern ourselves what's real and what's not. Right. And we're looking at all this fake stuff and it's slowly becoming real. It's not.
Well,
not any of it.
My feeling about like that is that you can actually create your reality that way, you know, especially if people are, you know, doing, you know, showing pictures from something else and calling it this. I mean, they can do all of that. They lie like rugs. But I feel like we need to focus our intention on what we want to do. What's our story? What do we want? We, you know, and I think that we're getting there. Because we know, you know, one of my teachers once said, you don't know what love is until you know what love isn't. Right. And I feel that's true of a lot of things. Like you don't really know until you're tested, right? And we're getting tested up the kazoo. I mean, we are still in the midst of our Pluto return, our Chiron return, and soon to have our Uranus return in this country.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 250 years is a long time for a democracy to be a working democracy.
Yeah.
So, but it's not really a working democracy because all the things that require it to be a working democracy, like an educated populace, a free press, and representation, right? We don't have any of that because we have all this money in politics. It doesn't matter what we think because we're not paying their salaries.
Right.
That has to go first. Money out of politics.
That's what exactly. Once you monetize it, it gets dirty.
Right. We know from being in healthcare, right?
I agree. It should. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I agree with you that once, you know, if we could pull that from the criteria, then you can get people that are solid in doing this for volunteer, like they're supposed to.
Marco Rubio should know better. Yeah, I think he does know better.
Oh, yeah. What happened? They had pulled some people from the Capitol in Texas without a real legit threat, just saying that there possibly was one. Again, trying to scare you. That could be a story that's real or not. And then you start to internalize it, like, and build on that fear. They're just trying to freaking scare you. What I saw firsthand, it was a good thing.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Says Linda Bishop says Austin, Texas DPS cleared the Capitol this afternoon because of a threat during the protests. Gotta wonder with Governor Abbott if he was the threat. Yeah, he is the threat.
Mm-hmm.
He
Right.
is.
Right. So that could be just, they're just trying to scare you about that. And it's ridiculous. They shouldn't have to. I would like to wrap this up with a WTF question if someone wants to come up with one, because it is the hour where Giblets is finally settling himself.
Well, we can go over a little. I shouldn't say this. I guess I can.
Literally.
I'm all by myself. My husband went to a drumming circle to drum in the solstice. But I said the solstice isn't until next week.
It's not till next week.
Don't
I
rush
know.
it. But, it was a thing. So this is when they had it, I guess. But
you know what? Sometimes it has to be sort of around there because your people just can't get together. I think what he's barking at is it is just windy enough that the door is moving involuntarily from the wind and he can't control it. It's windy out there. Well, we could say, why are they kicking out protesters in Los Angeles? I get the Two of Cups. Because they have an agreement. There's some kind of mutual agreement. Queen of Cups Tarot says, my son saw a picture of Trump and he looked like he was falling asleep at his parade. Oh, like eternal sleep? Or a real nap or a dirt nap kind of thing. Right?
The wind carries spirit. Yes, it does.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
So yeah, for why are they getting rid of the protesters? I got the 10 of Pentacles, the 7 of Wands, and then the 3 of Cups. They're just trying to protect the property. I feel like because one of the things that Gavin Newsom said, I listened to. He did I would suggest Padilla spoke to oh God, I can't think of his name right now. He's on Pod Save America, Crooked Media. If you can get that, if you can find it, it's Padilla talking to, I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head. He's not the funny guy, and he's not the guy from Massachusetts, or maybe he's the guy from Massachusetts. Anyway, one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Really good interview with Padilla. He's really a nice guy. I did his numbers. He's got some pretty powerful numbers.
Yeah. I think the evidentiary
no, it's not
on that is so in his favor that I don't think the guy can look bad. I honestly don't. So I think he could ever look bad, right?
I think it's Vitor. Tommy Vitor. I think that's his name. Tommy Vitor. Oh, the sun. Oh, dear me.
Oh.
Okay. Things are just flying everywhere. I got the sun, the lovers.
Wow.
And the hanged man. Oh. Illumination around a Gemini.
A Gemini card, yeah.
Going to be hung out to dry.
The sun is moving out of Gemini.
Soon enough.
Still enough.
Still there.
That's a solstice card.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Interesting. That's interesting. I like that.
Strung up. Well, by his toes.
Suspended. There's a suspension there.
Yeah.
That's the best we can hope for in the, is that some of this has been suspended. Some of the stuff we've just been in tears over in the last week is suspended. I like that.
Gavin Newsom is getting up Dumpy's Achilles tendon. Yeah, because Gavin Newsom's Mars sits right on his moon and his south node, Trump's moon and south node. And there was something else. Oh, his Jupiter, Gavin Newsom's Jupiter sits right on Trump's Mars. So he infuriates Trump.
Yeah, he really blows fire up his butt, right? Like,
yeah,
it
and
really hurts.
because I was listening to Michael Wolff. You know who Michael Wolff is? He wrote that book about Trump. Anyway, and Epstein, and he knows a lot of stuff. Anyway, he was saying that Gavin Newsom, he said, is Trump's nightmare because he's tall like Trump and he's got better hair than Trump. He said, because, if you want to be a politician, you have to have hair. That's what he said.
There's a whole code of body habitus features that are inclusionary criteria for us to believe that there's a leader in there in that skin.
Yes.
And I think he hits a lot of the notes.
Yeah. He's got a fascinating chart. If anybody hasn't, I did an astrology Kabbalah on him. If anyone wants to check that out on my channel, it's really quite interesting. I had looked at Gavin Newsom before, but he's got Pluto right on the ascendant. He's serious stuff.
Yeah. And it is time for people to start to posture themselves for running, because I think open.
Yeah, certainly he's sort of been posturing himself for a long time. Yeah. But I almost feel like we have to see how they act in these situations. Like who's going to really be a leader, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who can really do the leading?
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up at 7:07. There's so much to filter and process and think about. What card last week was the antelope card for Time Out with Giblets in the morning, and it sure as F felt like that this week.
I cannot wait for tomorrow morning to see what animal I need to cozy up with.
I don't know, but this one is sound asleep, which is exactly what I was hoping he would have been doing an hour ago.
Maybe we should do this an hour later. Maybe that's
and that is just the way things flow. Now I could literally vacuum and he wouldn't even budge. You want a French bulldog? Let me interview him. You can interview him first before you make that decision. But we will see you in the morning with Time Out with Giblets. Check out my brief on the protest in Edgewater up here, and hold yourselves.
We are going to be okay. We've moved through a lot of stuff.
I definitely
in a very short amount of time.
I felt like that, and I said that. I'm like, we're going to be okay.
And remember the card Mania. If it seems like it's too much, you need to shut it off. And you need to get your head back together.
Yeah.
Because it's easy enough to get caught up in all of this.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that too.
So we'll see you next week on my channel for Mystic Sisters Live. Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Love you. And we'll see you in the morning.